Welcome back to Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. My name's Connor Williams, and we're back with another player review. This time it is on none other than Amadou Onana. Obviously a player linked with a move away this summer. We'll go through it. I'll go through his stats, tell you a little bit of what I think, and then I'll give him his rating out of 10 for the season, in my personal opinion. So this is his second season with Everton, which has gone by really, really quickly, if you ask me. That sort of flew by. He's played 37 games overall, 30 in the Premier League with 2 goals, 3 in the FA Cup, 4 in the League Cup with another goal there. So let's have a look at his stats in the Premier League. His goal was for a corner against Crystal Palace in the Premier League, one of them. That'll be in that flurry where we seem to have played Palace like 4 times. But yeah, he's had a goal, XG of 0.18. He's not a player you associate with goals very often, so it's been interesting that he scored. And his second goal was against Burnley, again, header from a corner. So both goals for him there. And his other goals in the League Cup, in case you were wondering about them, just to refresh your memory, were, of course, his goal against Burnley, right foot from a corner. Likes a corner goal, doesn't he? That was in the EFL. And then in the FA Cup for his 4th and final goal of this season, it didn't come. He has 3 goals. He has 3 goals. Yeah, I miscounted. I can't count, is what I've learned there. So yeah, 3 goals this season. He's got an XG of 2.3, so he's basically on the money there with that. He's not really a player that takes many shots, 29 this season, which is on average about 1.25 per game. 6 of them are on target, which averages out to about 0.26 shots on target per game. 0 assists with an XG of 1.37 and expected assists of 1.37. So not great for a midfielder that I'd argue is more creative one. I think he gets a lot of assists of an assist, but yeah, not a brilliant amount there being created. Chances created this season is 18, which is about in the Premier League, which is about 0.78 chances created per 90. But his passing accuracy is good at 84.9%. He's got good accurate long balls with 70% accurate long balls. He has 12 successful dribbles. He's won 45 fouls. And then here you get to the best bit. 53% tackles won, 180 duels won, 73% of his aerial duels are won, 21 interceptions, 160 recoveries. He's won possession in the final third 17 times, which puts him really high up compared to other Premier League players, which is overall great to see. Like I said, I'd like to see more of him creativity-wise. I think he needs to create more big chances. He's created only 4 this season and 0.6 key passes per game. Yeah, I just need to see more assists from him, possibly, or more goals if I'm being, picky. Unless he's just going to solidify himself as the ball-winning midfielder of Everton Football Club. But I have the feeling that, and this might be system-based, I have the feeling that in a different system with a bit more freedom, he'd be able to contribute a bit more, although his shooting is not the best. Yeah, it'd be interesting because if he went to the likes of Arsenal, he could play as that in that sort of. I'd like to see him maybe get a bit more freedom, and maybe in the Declan Rice role, maybe in the Odegaard role, just to see what he could do. But ball recoveries per game are 5.3, so you can see what he's doing there. He's more defensive in the Everton team, which I don't know. Some people say it hinders him, and it probably does to an extent. And then other people are sort of saying he's not very good. Don't think I agree with he's not very good. I think he's a very good player that will do well in another system, in another league, in a different team. I don't think he's not good. I just think people maybe expect a little bit more from him than we're seeing. He has 21 progressive carries and 107 progressive passes this season. So that tells you all you need to know. While he's not creating chances, he is getting the ball up that field and is trying to create stuff for us to the best of his ability anyway. He can only do so much as well, I suppose. I like him. I think just from the eye now, I think a lot of our moves that lead to goals are built from Onana's passes. I think he is very good at finding the pass before the assist, as well, which is fantastic to see. This is a team as well that are a bit short of creative midfielders. So if we can get someone who's obviously a bit more defensivist, which his stats would suggest, but if we could get somebody who is good at defending and creating chances, even better. Like I said about his progressive passes, that's like 4.61 progressive passes per game, which again, great to see from a midfielder. It'll be interesting when we do Ghana in the next like bunch that come out when Ghana's comes out to compare. But he's good at his ground rules, he's great at tackling, great at positioning. Like I said, you could argue his shooting could be a little bit better. I'd like to see his assists go up a little bit, to be honest. But I think that might be a system problem that he's not getting there. He's got good concentration. He gets fouled often, which is surprising for a big lad. Normally it's the other way around. You think when Marouane Fellaini was around, he was forever giving away fouls. He's an indirect set piece threat, which he's shown with his corner goals. And overall, I think for a 22-year-old lad, the way he carries himself is impressive. I think he carries himself with a level of importance without edging on. And I think people have sometimes read it as cocky, but I think with a sense of importance, a sense of what a situation, what a fortunate position I find myself in, what a player I could be, sort of confidence, which you need to get to the elite levels of football. I imagine you need to back yourself and need to be able to put your head above the parapet of social media, fans, teams, media, just the noise around you. You need to put your head above it all and go, no, I am here for a reason, you know. So I like him. I think he might want to go this summer though. I'd rather lose him than Branthwaite. I think he's one of these players, though, for the people who don't rate him, I think he's one of these that will go to another club and will knock it out the park. And then next year we'll all be going, man, look at Onana. Isn't he doing well there? Like Iwobi. I remember Iwobi getting absolutely ripped apart. And getting told that Iwobi's not very good. Iwobi's not very good. And there have been good moments this season for Fulham where he has provided them with important goals and assists. And I'll see people then going, God, man, this Iwobi was good. What were we doing with him? No, we had him. You just don't want to say didn't appreciate him at the time, but didn't rate him. And then he goes and does it for another team, and you start to see it, and you're like, oh. I think Onana might be one of them. I don't think he's one of these. There's a lot of young midfielders that come through the doors of football. Some are your Jack Rodwells of the world, and some are, the Amadou Onanas, who I think will go on to be something special as long as he keeps his confidence as just confident and not cocky, which I think he will. I think he's a really mature lad for his age. When you read the interviews and you've listened to them, and he's into his music, and I'm sure I've seen him playing the piano. He just seems like a culture vulture for one, and just a really level-headed, intelligent young man who I think it'll put him in good set. But anyway, we're not here to judge him on his IQ. This season, I think he's played a pivotal part for Everton, which is the most important bit. I think he's helped us where we need it. I think he's been a really good part of it. He's in a midfield, by the way, that's really competitively good. Idrissa Gana Gueye has performed really well this season. James Garner has played okay this season as well. He's played good. I think James Garner it's has played well as well. So to really try and get in there is tough. I'm going to give Amadou Onana, I think, for this season. I'm edging on. I'm edging on. I think a 7. I think a 7's fair. Yeah, I think a 7 is fair. Like I said, if he'd got a couple more passes and goals, I'd be giving him an 8. I think he's played really, really well. In parts, and I think he does jobs that aren't very popular. The defensive work isn't very popular. It takes a lot to get noticed there. Fair play to Idrissa Gana Gueye because he does get noticed there by fans, and fans love him. So I'm going to give Onana a 7. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts. Do you think 7's fair? What would you give him? Look forward to reading them. See you soon.